You ever play a game and the vocals just feel like a little bit off in a section? You're like, what were these writers thinking? Like, what kind of idiots are they? Well, I'm going to show you something here, what happens. This is our new episode, episode 5, and this is how I have to play it. If it looks kind of broken to you and not like a finished product, that's because that's what it is. Like really early on in the process, I need to play to it and write. And the reason for that is simple. The process takes writing, scheduling recording sessions, cutting the audio, putting the audio in, localizing it, and then we can go to 1.0 shipping, right? So it's a long process. So you actually have to write well before levels are done in this case, right? And so do you ever go to the supermarket and you buy potatoes and you swear to God you're looking at each potato really carefully before you buy it, and you come home and one's just got a huge gouge in it and you're like, what was my brain thinking? That happens all the time in game audio, right? So you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna stand next to this and this isn't here, but this is how I'd feel about whatever statue or device I'm standing next to. And then it comes in game and you're like, well, it doesn't really work anymore. So sometimes you cut it and sometimes you kind of just rework it. And this is one of the reasons of like little indie games you'll see this more in than big games. Because often, like at Valve, we would stack levels up to be done and some would just be done before others. And so then you could just go back in a different session because we did so many sessions. We spent, $100,000 easily on recording. And you would go back in another session and fix that, right? And you'd get rid of that, which kind of drives me nuts. So sometimes now there's a couple modders that like to say, hey, this audio wasn't used. That's a bug. We should put it in. And I'm like, no, that's really audio that doesn't work there, right? It doesn't feel right. And so that's what happens there. But so this is happening to me now with episode 5. This is coming on board. That's the very beginning of it. So not too many spoilers there in what you're doing. But you kind of get a feel for it. And so now I'm just kind of reworking some of it, and it's just kind of getting prettier and prettier. Some of the audio is really working, and some of the audio is like, meh. And we're already close to 1.0. So the thing is, will it have a big impact on the game? No. I mean, I'm talking like 1 or 2 lines. You're not going to notice it. I'm going to notice it. But man, it drives me nuts because it really is like looking at that potato and going like, how did I come home with this giant gouge in it? Like, how did I not know you're not going to hear this because combat's going on and it can't be a soft line and it's funny, but it's not like... But that said, like, there's so much good stuff in this. There's so much good stuff in this. It's good. One of the nice things about the process of taking so long is I actually get to go back to audio that I recorded, a month ago or wrote 2 months ago, and it makes me laugh. That's a good sign. So, yep. Working on that today, trying to get episode 5 finished. I think episode 4 is close. I do a pass where I put in all the stuff we recorded, and then we go back and look to see if there's other audio I can pull from that we've used in the game or not used in the game that would be appropriate in these areas as well. So that is my days. But it's just one of those I had to share because, yeah, like I'm making it like this whole like, oh my God, no, it's one line. It's one line. It's one line that made me laugh when I wrote it. It made me laugh when we recorded it. And I put it in game and it didn't make me laugh. And I'm like, damn it. But yeah, it's fine. There's a whole bunch of good stuff here. Yeah, it's one of those days and I'm going to take a break after that. But everything else was going well. So yeah, if I would have never even talked about this, you would not have noticed. Nobody would notice. I should just delete this and live my life feeling good about that line. Nah, I don't know. I guess if you're making a game and you're putting in an audio, man, don't feel bad about that. It doesn't say that little looking at the potato thing happens all the time and it drives me nuts. But not all the time. Like I said, this is one time here in this, but it's still, man, it over hits you.